Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the RSWM Limited Q2 and H1 FY22 earnings conference call. We have with us today from the management Mr. B.M. Sharma, Joint Managing Director, and Mr. Avinash Bhargava, Chief Financial Officer. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Avinash Bhargava for opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for the introduction and good afternoon to all those present on investor call. I hope you and all your family members are all doing well as we have crossed 100 crore COVID-19 vaccination milestone, which has created a confidence in the battle against COVID-19. The economy has been showing signs of recovery. We believe a further uptake in investor sentiment likely to happen, supported by rising demand and improved financial performance in all sectors. Hope you all had the opportunity to go through the earnings presentation, which is available on stock exchanges and on our website. Just briefly talk about textile environment globally and domestically. The demand of yarn and denim fabric in export and domestic both, the market picked up well. We think demand will continue as China plus one strategy is driving there. Our lots of brands are now looking at India is also one of the possible destinations where they wanted to buy from India. And they are looking India as more the prospective supplier of textile goods going forward after China. Coming to the financials, the Q2 FY22 has been ended with total revenue at 960 crores on back of strong demand and festive season. EBITDA increased to 111 crore in Q2 FY22 as against 27 crore in Q2 FY21 and PAT of rupees 42 crore. Our domestic turnover has increased to 61% QOQ as compared to Q2 FY21. Our export turnover has increased of 96% QOQ as compared to Q2 FY21. In last four and a half years, that has reduced from 1,400 crore as on 31st March 18 to 790 crore as on 30th September 21. Company is investing around 330 crore in expansion of denim fabric manufacturing capacity, cotton melange yarn manufacturing capacity, and modernization and balancing equipment across all units. Company is planning to enter into knit fabric business with initial investment of rupees 80 crore in first phase. Above projects started in Q1 and progressing well as per schedule. Investment in denim, cotton yarns and knit fabrics expected to increase our top line by around 575 crore. Sufficient cash generation has put the company in very comfortable position in terms of liquidity, and we are positive on government initiatives which will increase competitive edge of Indian textile value chain. Thank you so much. Now, this question answer session is open. Myself, Avinash Bhargava, Chief Financial Officer, and our Joint Managing Director from very senior team is here to answer your queries. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the phone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Prerna Jhunjhunwala from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Congratulations on a very strong set of numbers, sir. I have few questions on the results. One is, why is the fabric business making a bit loss when the demand in denim is so strong?
The PV fabric?
The segmental numbers I'm seeing on the results announced.
Yes. So, you have, hope you have read this on our website also, that we have sold our brand to Donier in August.
Okay, so this quarter PV Fabrics is still a part of your results.
So now we are not into production of PV fabric.
Okay, but now so henceforth we can expect profit at EBIT.
Whatever is in the results is majorly is denim fabric and this PV fabric at very little volume.
Okay. So my question was with respect to fabric business segment profits only. When can we start seeing profits in this segment, and why is the segment still having a loss?
So I have replied that PV segment, polyester viscose fabric segment will not be with us.
Okay. So from third quarter.
PV fabric business will not be with us since brand has been sold.
Okay. So from third quarter we can start seeing profits because it will totally be denim fabric.
It will start it from Q4.
Okay. It will start from Q4. Okay. Okay. And sir, second question is on your capex plan. Can you give us a breakup of your 330 crore capex? So you gave 80 crores as knit fabric, and the rest of the capex will be in between denim and Melange yarn. Could you give the capex breakup?
This capex breakup is 130 is in 130 is in denim sheet dyeing and spinning plant, and again 150 crore in Melange yarn and another 50 crore in balancing machine.
Okay.
Across all plants. This is the breakup.
Okay. Okay. And sir, on 80 crores of knit fabric investments, how much revenue can you make?
Pardon?
On 80 crores of knit fabric investments, how much revenue would you make? And could you just help us with understanding the product type also, whether it will be a value-added knit fabric or it will be a basic knit fabric business?
It will be value-added knit fabric.
Value-added knit fabric. Okay. Used in which product, type of product? Apparel only?
This will be knitted fabric for apparel.
Okay. Okay.
And
understand.
The turnover of this knit fabric will be around 200 crore.
Okay. Okay. Understood, sir. And sir, we were also earlier looking at tie-up with Adidas. So for a highly value-added product for their business. So is it related to that part only, or it is something else?
This will be open to all brands.
Open to all brands.
Not only Adidas.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll come back to the question queue again.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhilasha Satale from Dalal & Broacha. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for giving the opportunity and congratulations for good set of numbers. Basically, I want to understand how is the industry scenario as far as the overall profitability is concerned. This quarter, I mean, the margins which have come, how much of that is related to the new cotton cost, because the cotton season has started, and at the current, I mean, overall cotton prices or, the raw material prices are up in the range of 15 to 20% on year-on-year basis. Also, although yarn realization has improved going forward, how do we see our gross margins panning out over a period of time?
For cotton or PV, both?
Both cotton and PV.
The margin would be around 12% EBITDA.
Okay. Sir, this quarter actually means our sales have increased by 70%. So how much is it contributed by the volume growth and how much is the price growth?
Okay, right. The question is very good question. I will answer this. This volume growth, if we consider volume growth from 31st March 20, it is 22%. And if we compare it with 30th June 20, which was very bad period, it is 200%. And if we compare it on year-to-year basis, it is around 20%. And if we compare it with 30th March 21 to 30th June 21, it is around 7% in terms of volume. Now the production of, if we talk about quantity terms, on 30th June, my production was 32,000 metric ton, and now it is 35 metric ton on 30th September 21.
Okay. Okay. So, sir. Okay. Yes. And the price has also gone up. So actually, if I was seeing on a quarter-on-quarter basis, our gross margin has gone down from 48% to 44%. So it could be largely because the price appreciation in yarn price what we have got during this quarter. So I just want to understand that going forward, how do you see the spread of say yarn, say PV yarn also you could say, or even cotton yarn spread to the raw material? So that what is your outlook on that on the same, because even raw material prices have gone up.
Okay, Sharma Sahab, I would request you to please clarify this.
Can we get the question again, please?
So, sir, my question is, like in this quarter, even raw material prices have gone up. In Q2, we would have gone some inventory gain of the past year, because usually we store inventory for the cotton. From this quarter onwards, the new cotton, the new cotton crop will come in, and that we will start utilizing for our finished product. So although yarn prices have gone up on an incremental basis, how do we see our gross margin panning out for PV as well as cotton yarn?
Going forward.
Yes.
Okay. Number one, this extreme volatility in input material prices, whether it's cotton or polyester or viscose, which has been seen over the last 2 months and all, that has impacted, you can say, performance of many textile companies, including RSWM. So the dent which was made in gross contribution was mainly because of input price. Now going forward, the estimate is that there will be much more stability in the input prices, and the margins, the gross margins, will be sustainable, especially in Q3. You can't say what happens actually in Q4. A lot depends on number of global factors. which are not in control of any of the company operating in India.
Okay. Okay. So, means at the current, means whatever the current cotton and yarn prices are there, on that basis, or PV yarn or polyester prices are there, on that basis, the spreads are maintained. That's what our stance is.
No. See, but what I can say as of now is that the market is looking good, and this trend should continue at least for 3 to 6 months, in case it continues like this. But as I said, that one single factor can change the whole scenario. Let's say in case there is no third wave of COVID or fourth wave of COVID, everything continues, as it is, the good festival, season coming next month, and then, the good spring, summer season 22, giving flip to the business. They should continue like this. But you never know, there are a lot of factors which can come into play and can spoil your party.
Right. So you are saying that in the current, as the current demand scenario is there, you will. That's what.
I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat it again, please?
Yeah. So, like our view is in the current demand scenario, and is in that scenario, we will be able to pass on cotton price increase.
Ms. Abhilasha, your voice is breaking. We cannot hear you properly, ma'am.
Okay. Let me come to the better reception area. Is it? Am I audible?
Yes, now you are.
Yeah, it's much better now.
Okay. So so I was just I just need one clarification that we are expecting in the current demand scenario, the spreads will be maintained. So whatever the raw material price increase we have seen, we should be able to pass on to the end consumer. That is what our view is, right?
Okay. Yeah. Correct.
Okay, fine. And sir, we have reached 35,000 metric tons of volumes, we said. So what kind of volume increase further we are seeing in FY 23 and 24?
Talking about yarn.
Yarn volume, yes.
Okay. You can expect increase of around 15 to 20%, going forward in FY 23.
Okay. And would a large part of it be contributed by Melange yarn because our facility is commencing?
Then, let me put it this way, that Melange, currently we have around 72,000 spindles. So around 40% expansion in the spindles is going to contribute a lot there. That's number one. The second expansion in terms of yarn is coming in denim, around 20,000 spindles, which are going to be producing cotton yarn that will be for in-house consumption in denim fabric manufacturing. Now, you also know that we have added a slasher, giving us 7 lakh meter more of denim fabric. Now, the impact of these two expansions, will add anything around, you can say, around 15%, in the volume.
Okay. Yeah, and part of it will be for the internal consumption. So how much of our yarn is consumed captively as of now?
By denim, it's something around 350 tons a month.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you. I'll get back in the queue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ranveer Singh from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, thanks for taking my question. Just on your investment plan, the 330 crore capex you are planning, what would be the source of funding?
It will be from banks and 20% margin from internal accruals.
So where do you see our debt going to be in FY23?
It will be 415 and then 725 crores.
Okay. And you see that average sales realization in most of segments has gone up sequentially. How is this increment is going to sustain? So should I take this run rate going forward on quarterly basis?
As of now, we think that it is sustainable.
And increase in input prices, you said there's a scope to pass it on. So what is the time lag between increase in input prices and passing it on to end consumer?
Repeat your question, please.
So what is the time lag between increase in input prices and passing it on to your end consumer?
Time lag, it takes about 2 months.
Okay, so if today the price has increased, after 2 months it can be passed on to consumer. And is it only partially we can pass it on, or fully we have a scope to pass it on fully to end consumer?
It cannot be said that it can be passed on fully. It depends on demand and supply equation at the time. It cannot be said whether it will be passed fully or partially. We try to pass it fully, but practically it can be passed partially.
Yeah, and just another question. You guided some 12% of the EBITDA margin, I believe for FY22, right?
Yes.
So in first half we have 11%. So second H2 should be near 13 to 14% kind of EBITDA margin.
EBITDA margin is 12% only. This quarter also.
You will
in Q1 it was 11% and it was 12% and it is around 12% only.
Okay, even including other income.
More or less same.
Okay, so similarly in H2 also the margin profile would be the same.
Yes.
Despite increase in input prices, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's it from my side. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is from the line of Tanush Mehta from Mehta Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so my first question pertains to the capex. So overall, sir, from the year 2013 to 2020, our net block remained the same, and in the same period our top line also remained the same, which was a 1:1 ratio if I was to put it in a broad terms.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the capex that will come in, how do we expect our asset turn to flow in? Because the demand that, the outlook that the company is sharing seems to be quite robust. So can we see a better asset turn in that case? And my second question pertains to the long-term borrowings that we have. So what is our target to bring them down, because the capex we are going to fund via internal accruals. So how will the balance sheet look like, let's say in the next 6 months?
It will be about 700 crores.
Okay.
Long-term borrowing will be around 700 crores only.
Okay. And sir, what about the first part, the asset turn part, sir?
Asset?
Asset turnover, sir. Hello?
Asset. Hello?
Yeah. Sir, am I audible?
For the projects or for the total entire RSWM?
Yeah. Total.
Total it will be around 2.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1.
Sorry. It will be 3.33. 3.33.
The next question is from the line of Umakant Sharma from EN Investco Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Congratulations, team, on a fantastic set of numbers. I had a bunch of quick questions. Could you just throw some color around what's your outlook on the export side and how on the margin side?
Your voice is not clear.
Hello. Just give me a moment, please. Yeah, is it any better now? Am I audible now? Hello.
Yes.
Can you please come a little bit closer to the device because you're sounding from a distance?
Your voice is clear, but the question...
Yeah, is it better? Am I audible now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. So, sir, could you just throw some color around how's the export market looking like, and also what the margin compared to your domestic margins, domestic business?
Actually, if you will see this presentation on website, this total turnover of export is 258 out of 769 in FY21, and now it is 635. 635 out of 1695. So percentage is around 37-38%.
Correct. And so, sir, my broader question, the reason I'm asking is that, is there a way we can structurally change the entire equation of the component of export in the overall revenue base, let's say going 1 or 2 years ahead? And if we are looking at that, would it be via increase in the turnover, increase in wallet share from the existing customers that we have, or would it be via acquiring new customers?
This is both. This is with existing customers, and our marketing team is bullish on this identifying new customers also.
And could you?
If you will see this export business, it includes the trading activity also, which is increasing the top line of this export business.
Okay. And could you, sir, throw some color around the sustainability of the margin profile and how do you achieve that? And also going ahead, as you said, you'd be adding new capacity on the value addition side. What margin are we talking about, let's say, going ahead FY23 and FY24?
Actually, if you will see the China Plus One sentiment, it is contributing a lot for all textile industry, either RSWM or anyone else. So we feel that it will go further also. And as far as the value engineering is concerned, we are doing a lot in our new product development side thing, and input costs, restructuring, like these things, and these you can say efficiency and automation which we are bringing in this Milan yarn.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Waste elimination like
Got it, sir.
Energy conservation. These things are contributing a lot for. We are doing a project named Kifayat, in which each and every component of this cost is being reviewed by our top management. As far as new things in RSWM is concerned, our CMD and GMD both are taking CRM, customer relationship management, on this Zoom also. These type of things are going on in RSWM.
Okay. So, sir, is there a ballpark number that you are holding on yourselves to, let's say, by FY24 we would be reaching a particular margin? Could you show some goalposts that you have set for yourself?
Please repeat your question.
Is there some goalpost that you have set out for yourself on the margin profile of the business by FY24 when the new capacity also comes to play?
These margins would be for the yarn business. It will be EBITDA will be around 12-13 only, and these new knitting business and this new Milan yarn business will increase our profitability.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you. I'll get back in the queue. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Abhimanyu Singh from Growth Consultancy. Please go ahead.
Sir, your other expenses have increased more than 30% quarter on quarter. What is the reason for the same?
This is because of increase in raw material cost and cost of coal during this quarter.
Okay. And what is the sustainable EBITDA margin you are looking forward to?
Sustainable EBITDA margin, as I've explained earlier also, it will be around 12%, 13% like.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhilasha Satale from Dalal & Broacha. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, I wanted to ask that how much RoDTEP benefit we are getting on our export turnover as of now. What is the rate?
Rate is highest in the case of this cotton, denim cotton, and there is a cap in synthetic. 4.31% is in cotton side. Just a minute. Rates are available with you. 4.3% we are getting in the case of denim, cotton, and 1.80 in the case of this synthetic yarn. RoDTEP.
Okay. And we have almost like 50-50 contribution as far as cotton and synthetic is concerned.
50-50, no, we are dominant into synthetic.
Okay. So how much is synthetic contribution in our entire turnover?
Just a minute. Synthetic is 60-62%.
Okay, fine. And this about textile PLI scheme, the many it is likely to be positive for the textile sector. So although the major details are not out, but are we also applying for the PLI scheme, and if so, then what kind of investment we are looking in that scheme?
RSWM is not directly benefited by PLI because there are turnover and investment constraints there, and this is for made up fabrics.
Okay.
Made up fabrics. Man-made fabrics. So this is for man-made fabrics made out of man-made yarns or fibers.
Okay, so we won't be we are not eligible for that.
We are not into garmenting.
Right.
this PLI is available for garmenting units only. But
Okay.
yes, indirectly we will be benefited because the units which are eligible for PLI will consume the yarn from any of the industry like us.
Right. Okay.
So indirectly it will increase our growth potential.
Okay. Right. And how much in the fabric segment our PV fabric contribution is as we have divested it. So what is the contribution from PV fabric and denim in the fabric division?
The denim, the PV fabric contribution was just 3.5%, 3.75% only, which we have sold out this brand Mayur.
Right. So if that goes out of our this thing out of the turnover, then for denim, what kind of margins are sustainable? Our denim capacity in all, what are the margins it can make? Because even denim prices have gone up.
Denim fabric profit margin.
Yeah, means a bit 3-4% EBIT margin can it make going forward?
It will be more or less this yarn.
Okay. Okay. The EBIT margin will be in line with yarn margin.
Yes, it will be more or less equal to yarn margin.
Okay. Okay, that is positive then, right? Fine, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth Mohta from Principal India. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is in fabric segment. So in quarter 2, was there any one-off cost with respect to Mayur brand, like inventory liquidation or receivable write-off?
Please repeat your question, Siddharth.
Yes, sir. Sir, in quarter 2, was there any one-off cost with respect to Mayur brand, like we have taken some inventory liquidation cost or some receivables write-off that has come in the fabric division?
Yes, the loss is there in this quarter. It is around 5.5 crore for this.
For this Mayur brand, sir.
Hiving of this Mayur brand.
Correct. So, sir, will anything come in quarter 3, or more or less everything has come in quarter 2?
It can be 10-20 lakhs. It can be.
Correct.
There would not be any significant loss in Q3.
Okay.
For this Mayur brand.
Okay, sir. Great, sir. Sir, second is, sir, in the last few quarters, sir, we are focusing on manpower optimization or employee productivity a lot, and we also have undertook some of those programs. So can current capex or increase in production in Melange and denim segment can be managed with existing employees?
For this Melange yarn expansion, yes.
Okay.
There will be an increase of manpower, technical manpower, production manpower, but as far as administrative people are concerned, this will be managed with the existing manpower only.
Okay, sir.
Number 1. Number 2, same thing is applicable with denim also. Like you need supervisor for supervising these machines, we will recruit these supervisors. But as far as the administrative staff, commercial staff, marketing staff is concerned, we will not add a single person there.
Okay. So hardly any increase in the employee apart from some of the key positions, both in the Melange and in the denim segment.
Not apart from these key positions, these will be required to run the production show inside the plant. Key positions means you don't need to keep an additional chief operating officer, or you don't need to keep additional business heads or you don't need to add a marketing manager there.
Correct.
So key positions means we would be required to recruit these persons. No, we will not require these persons. We will require the production people only.
Okay. So I can say the people who are working on the in the shop floor, those will be added actually.
Or some HOD like
okay.
HOD within these supervisors on say if we need like 9 supervisors and we need a deputy manager or manager, we would recruit that only. And in addition to that, we would not recruit any additional manpower.
Okay. So as a result, there will be not much impact on our employee cost because of this increase in the melange and the damage.
Expansion.
Okay. So, but in case of knitwear, because this is a new segment, so I assume this knitwear, it might be a bit more of a labor intensive segment. So in that segment, there will be increase in the employee, or we will manage the show with our existing employees.
Few of our employees from fabric unit have been transferred to this knit unit.
Okay.
But yes, some technical the persons those are possessing the technical expertise with respect to knitting plants, these will be required and we will recruit these.
Okay.
Administrative setup in Modi is already there. And one more thing which I would like to add, this knitting facility will be within the building which has been vacated by this
Mayur.
Fabric.
Okay.
Mayur.
Okay, sir. Got your point. So with a minimum increase in the cost, whatever cost is there on this raw material front, so not much increase in the cost will be seen either in the employee cost or in the power cost or in some of the common cost, because common infrastructure is already there.
Yes, you are right.
Okay, sir. Great, sir. Sir, in case of knitwear segment, sir, if it is possible to throw some key metrics like what will be our operating or the EBITDA margin in that value-added knit fabric, what will be the working capital, and whether we will be targeting both domestic as well as international market?
I would throw a light on knit. The turnover would be 200 plus, maybe 225 crore or maybe 200 crore, and profit before depreciation and tax means cash profit would be around 31 crore.
Okay, sir. So around like 15% roughly.
Yes, roughly.
Okay. And so working capital, it will be as good as we are seeing in our yarn division, which is
working capital requirement will be there, and it will be as good as this yarn business.
Okay. And sir, here we will be targeting both the domestic brands as well as international brands?
We are targeting both.
Okay, sir. Sir, and my final question, sir, is on the power segment. So again, sir, we have done very good work on the power segment, and that is being reflected in this Q2 number. In the last 1 year, or I would say in the last 2 to 3 years, we have installed a lot of solar power, which has helped in the reduction of the cost. So going forward, sir, what will be our strategy to make sure that power cost does not go out of hand?
The power cost is expected to remain consistent as of now, because coal prices which were going up are now coming down.
Okay, sir.
So power cost would not be having impact, but yes, if there would be overall increase in power cost, we will be impacted.
But as of now, sir, whatever price price increase that we have taken in grey yarn, dyed yarn, cotton, melange, denim and fabric, that is being aligned with the increase in the cost inflation, whether it is raw material cost or the ocean freight or the power. So there is an alignment between the realization and the cost as of now, sir.
Yes.
Okay. And so my final question, sir, which I could not gather, sir, in case of denim segment, you said that going forward, outlook is quite positive, and that is being reflected in our CapEx that we are already doing. So as and when the things it get stabilized, which is as soon as Q4, we can see the margin in the denim segment somewhat similar to what we are getting in the yarn segment, which is around 11-12%, sir.
Yes, we can expect the same kind of margin in denim also.
Okay.
If you will see this denim performance during this Q2,
quarter, okay.
Q2, it has improved a lot.
Okay. But it might be in the sense because of this PV division we are not able to appreciate this denim segment margin. Okay, sir. Sir, thanks a ton, and sir, best wishes for upcoming quarters.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants to ask a question, please press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Akash Dhanuka, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Belated Diwali wishes to you, all of you, sir, and congratulations on a good set of numbers. Sir, I have a couple of questions. To start with, assuming that there will be no third wave and fourth wave, what is the turnover that we are expecting? We clocked around 1,700 crores in H1, the first half. So by FY22, what are we expecting to achieve in terms of revenue?
We are expecting around 3,200.
3,200. And the next year, sir, FY23?
It should be around 3,800.
3,800. Okay. And the EBITDA margin will be around the same for both years. For FY22 as a whole and FY23, around 12%. Am I correct?
Around 12%, 12, 13, 12 and a half. That may be.
Okay, sir. And on the that capex, sir, that was 330 crores. 80 crores is in the net segment. So that 80 crores is included within that 330, or that is excluding?
No, it will be in addition to this.
So that is 80 plus 330, right?
80 plus 30, it will be 410.
410. And I couldn't get that, sir. Somebody previous.
Actually, we have mentioned this 330 because financial closure of this 330 has already been done.
Sorry?
Financial closure for this 330 has already been done.
Okay, great. So, in terms of capex, we are only left with 80 crores to be done. That will be done through our internal accrual, and nothing will be taken from bank.
For which lot of lenders are ready to finance this project.
Sir, if just at the cost of repeating myself, is my understanding correct that 330 crores, the financial closure has been done? So, going forward, we are only left with a capex of 80 crores that will be spent in terms of money, and that 80 crores will be done through internal accrual, and nothing will be taken in terms of borrowing.
We will go for borrowing, for which we have already applied to the banker.
So, what will be the ratio, sir, for in that 80 crores?
It will be 64-16, 80-20.
80-20. Okay. And by when will it start, sir?
It is expected, we want that it should be started somewhere around the first quarter of this 22-23. We expect that all machineries will be received before 31st March 2022.
Okay.
All orders have been placed. Advances have been given. All things are in place.
Okay, great, sir. On the raw material cost, sir, somebody, a previous participant had asked about the other expenses. So you had mentioned that other expenses has increased because of the raw material cost increase and the coal increase. So a couple of questions on that. Sir, coal prices have fallen 40% of the highs in the recent past. So, I mean, how will it benefit us going forward in terms of our margins? So, because the raw material cost of coal has, I mean, the coal prices have gone down, I feel it should aid our margin. I mean, increase our margin.
If you will see this gross profit margin, it is gross profit margin is only on account of margin raw material. In absolute terms, raw material cost increased from 389 crores to 966 crores. Overall profitability in H1 is impacted mainly on account of higher raw material costs, power and fuel costs due to surge in coal prices. So, this decline of raw material, this decline of coal prices will certainly add to our gross profit margin.
So, yes, so as we mentioned previously that as when the price rises, we pass on the same to the customer. So as and when the cost decreases, will we have to decrease the price and pass on the benefit to the customer, or that will remain with us?
Actually, this price of coal increase or power cost increase could not be passed on to the customer because it was for a short period. It was for you can say 2 months. And 2 months जो है 2 months takes place when we want to transfer it to the customer. It could not happen in case of coal cost.
Okay. Fair enough, sir. Just a question, sir. I mean, in terms of overall demand, as we say that everything is looking good, so can we expect something great? I mean, in terms of performance, reward to the shareholders? I mean, in terms of profitability.
You mean to say dividend?
Yeah.
We cannot say as of now because the company like RSWM looks at the growth of the company and growth of the investors' investment. So as of now, we cannot say about dividend.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, and all the best.
You can expect a growth in certain levels within your company.
Sorry?
You can expect a good quantum of growth within your company.
Okay, that's great, sir. Yep. Thank you very much for answering your question, sir, and all the best for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand over the conference over to Mr. Avinash Bhargava from RSWM Limited for closing comments.
Thank you all for joining us. If any question you have in your mind, please write to us. The email ID has been given on website.
Thank you. On behalf of RSWM Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.